Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new video, and yes, you can see my face. You now have a mental image of what you want to beat into a pulp when you watch these videos. So today I figured that we could make a tier list on the polearms in Genshin Impact, seeing that Zhongli is about to release in about 7 or 8 days, depending on when I get this uploaded. So in making this tier list, I am taking two things into account. One, how good is the polearm in general in comparison to the others, and two, how good is it in relevance to what level it is, 3-star, 4-star, 5-star, etc. But yeah, very simple video concept. I figured I would just test out OBS right now before I start streaming more regularly. I actually streamed about 1 or 2 days ago, depending on when I get this uploaded. It is a lot of fun. Twitch is very interactive and I like doing it a lot. It's a lot better to be immersive with my viewers, because on YouTube, you know, you leave a comment and then I reply to it 6 hours later, and then you reply to my response 12 hours later. Twitch, of course, is live and we can have, you know, a real-time discussion about the game, about Genshin Impact, which I love doing. I love talking to you guys about it. But without further ado, let's just get right into the video already. So starting from the bottom up with the 3 stars, again, we're skipping the first two, the halberd. So the halberd is actually a very good weapon for the earlier adventure ranks, the earlier world levels. It has an attack boost, and then normal attacks deal an 160% damage, and then at max refinement, at level 5 refinement, it does 320% damage. Basically what this means is that every 10 seconds you will get a hit that does 3 times as much damage, and I'm saying 3 times because you are definitely going to get refinement rank 5 on this one. There are so many chests that have weapons like this, and you are bound to get a level 5 refinement halberd at some point. I would say that this weapon is actually really good for a 3-star if you have an elemental damage build on your character. You don't really have to worry about your actual attack power, because you can just throw out your elements and then hit them a couple times until you get that 300% hit, and then just switch your character out. Before I decided to make a high crit build with Xiangling, I used the halberd all the time because I was just using her for pyro. It's a very good early game weapon. It's actually a great early game weapon. So considering the fact that it is a 3-star, where is it? I'm actually gonna put it in B tier. I know it's kind of high for a 3-star weapon, but it's because of the effect it has as a 3-star weapon. As long as you use it in a build where you don't really need too much base attack and you can invest your artifacts and stuff into other things, I think it's great. And then we have the white tassel. So it raises your crit rate by 5.1%. So Deathmatch, which is a 4-star one, which is the battle pass one, it's 8%. So it's going to scale in terms of the crit rate a lot higher, but the effect is actually pretty good. So on top of a high crit rate, your base attack is raised by almost 50%, which is really good. If it wasn't a 3-star weapon, that is the only problem with this one. And I know that I said the halberd is good because it's a 3-star weapon, but with the white tassel, it has a very similar effect to the Deathmatch. Because it's a 4-star, it's still going to scale better than the white tassel when you get to the higher adventure ranks. And with a 3% higher base crit rate, that's going to scale a lot. Like, it doesn't seem like a lot, it's a 3% difference right now. When you get to those higher stages in the game and you get those weapons to 80 or 90, the scaling difference between 3 and 4-star and even 5-star weapons it's a lot. It's a lot. So because of that, I'm going to have to put white tassel in C tier. And then next we have black tassel. So it increases your damage against slimes by 40% at rank 1 and 80% at rank 5. Again, with these 3-star polearms, you are almost definitely going to get them to refinement rank 5. But the black tassel is very niche, and this right here, the HP boost, it's not great. So far, the only polearm users we have are Xiangling and Zhongli, who isn't even in the game yet, and I hate, again, how similar those names are. And then the damage against slimes, it's very good in very specific occasions, but unless you are doing domains or a specific level in the Spiral Abyss, this effect right here is going to be kind of useless. The same with HP, so I'm kind of torn between D and C right now. We'll put it in C because from what I can remember, there is one weapon that deserves to be below it So we'll just move on to the Favonius lance. The Favonius set, the Favonius weapon set is actually really slept on in my opinion. So crits have a 60% chance to generate small elemental particles, which regenerate 6 energy for the character. That's rank or refinement 1, and then it's 100% at refinement rank 5. And the time that it can occur is cut in half. So energy recharge is super important on characters that have, you know, elemental damage builds, obviously, where you just want to spam your skill and spam your burst. And if you couple that with a high energy recharge rate based weapon, which we have right here, this could be really good. This means that you really only need to have one critical hit artifact in your build. So this weapon is really good for a balanced character between elemental damage and just straight out white damage, because the higher crit rate you have, not only will you do more damage obviously, but your energy is going to recharge a lot faster and you can use your bursts a lot quicker. And this is especially good for Xiangling. I'm just gonna go ahead and put up like pictures of the one I'm talking about because I don't think too many people can differentiate. It's very good for Xiangling because she wants that balance between crit and elemental damage, because she's a polearm user and you can just throw out a flurry of attacks and get a lot of crits in there. But she's also a pyro user, and pyro is probably the best element in the entire game, so you want her to be spamming that pyronado because it does a lot of damage. So I would say specifically for Xiangling, the Favonius lance will be an A tier weapon. It's really good if you want that balance between white damage and fire damage. Here it is, the Lithic spear, the worst polearm in this game by far. So physical damage bonus 9% increase, and the normal attacks have a 20% chance of causing the next charge attack performed in the following 10 seconds to deal 40% increased damage. Do you hear that? There's only one of these in the game, by the way, so you cannot refine it at all, which means these stats right here do not change. You have to go out of your way to use the abilities on this weapon. The Lithic spear is meant purely for white damage, and there are so many other weapons in this game that are better for white damage. There are so many polearms in this game that are better for white damage. The Deathmatch is better. The Crescent pike is better. We'll get to those in a second. But there are like 4 weapons that are good for just regular physical damage, and the Lithic spear just pales in comparison to that, so I think we are going to have our one and only D tier weapon right here. And now we arrive at Deathmatch, the Battle Pass weapon. So 4-star crit rate weapon is really good. This scales up to like 35-40% at level 70 or 80, I think. But yeah, increases attack and defense by 16% if there are multiple enemies around. If there's only one, it increases your attack by 24%. This is a very good weapon for white damage. It's much better than the Lithic spear. When I get my Zhongli in the next banner, Geo in terms of elemental damage isn't very good, so I'm planning on building him just purely for white damage, and this is going to be my weapon of choice unless I get, you know, like one of the 5 stars somehow. So since your weapon has a high crit rate bonus, that means that your artifacts will have a little bit more leeway. You can invest artifacts into other things or just stack it on top of each other for more crit. Really good weapon, a battle pass weapon, which means as long as you have the battle pass, it's automatically obtainable. I'm gonna put it in the A tier. And here we have the first crafting, the first blacksmith weapon, the prototype Grudge. So high energy recharge, and then after using your elemental skill, it increases your normal and charged attack damage by 8% for 12 seconds. Max 2 stacks isn't great, and it doesn't scale up with refinement. Its only saving grace is the higher energy recharge, which again, if you want to run a high elemental damage build on your Zhongli or your Xiangling, then it has one redeemable factor in this right here. I think for now we'll just put it in B tier. It's not terrible, but there are still a lot better weapons out there. And so now we're going to the Black Cliff Pole, which is the Star Glitter weapon. Considering the other options you have when it comes to spending your Star Glitter, I don't think that these effects right here warrant wasting it on that when you can buy more fates, or you can even buy entire characters for similar prices. The only thing that catches my eye is crit damage. Crit damage in terms of artifacts is actually very rare, and there's only 1 slot for it. So crit damage is very good, and considering that it's a 4-star and the crit damage base is 12%, that's going to scale by a lot. I don't know, this one's kind of tough. I don't think it's bad, but I don't think it's good. Just like the Dragon's Bane, it's very it really depends on how you build your character and how many good crit artifacts you have. So I'll put it in B. And now we have Crescent Pike, which is the blacksmith item that people choose over the prototype Grudge pretty much every single time. So physical damage bonus, and then after picking up an elemental orb or particle, your normal and charge attacks deal an additional 20% damage, and then 40% at refinement rank 5. So people have made entire videos on this weapon before because it is really good for white damage, considering the fact that it's a free weapon. You get it through the blacksmith. All you have to do is fight the wolf, fight Storm Terror, fight Child. Basically this right here, the extra 20% or extra 40%, it doesn't add that attack to each one of your attacks. These percents deal additional damage, which means separate damage. And polearms already have a lot of attacks. It's insane how many different numbers you see flying into the screen when you're using a polearm. It's especially good on Zhongli because with this right here, the picking up an elemental orb or particle, Goba drops that every single time you throw him out. Zhongli, on the other hand, it's kind of up in the air, just depends on how often elemental particles are available in your team. But considering that it's a free 4-star weapon, I think its effects are great, so I'm also going to put it in A tier. So finally arriving at the 5 stars, starting with the Skyward Spine, just like the Favonius Lance, energy recharge, but obviously because it's 5-star, it scales a lot better. And for the effect, it increases your crit rate by 8% and raises your normal attack speed by 12%. Normal and charged attack hits have a 50% chance to trigger a vacuum blade that deals 40% of your attack as area of effect damage, and it can occur every 2 seconds. I kind of don't even want to bother with max refinement because if you have enough money, enough resources in this game to get a max refinement 5-star weapon, go away. Go away, we don't want you here. I'm just kidding, stay. I need all the views I can get. I think this is probably the best polearm that we have. I mean, increasing your critical hit rate by any percent on a weapon, not even being this one right here, the main stat booster, is insane. Zhongli's Elemental Burst looks like it's going to be very good with its petrification. Pretty much freezing your enemies every single time you use your ult is going to be very important. So high energy recharge is always good, and then Pyronado on Xiangling is a great move overall. So a 50% chance to deal 40% extra damage every 2 seconds with a spear. They built this weapon knowing that it was going to be broken. You are going to trigger this extra 40% every single time. This thing has 3 different effects that are all really good on pretty much any build. So because of that, it is 100% going to be our first and possibly only S tier polearm. So Kunwu's Iris Rift is next, increases your attack percent, and then increases normal attack speed by 10%, increases damage against enemies affected by any element at 24%. This is a very interesting effect. It basically means it works on every single enemy besides like Fatui agents and treasure hoarders basically, but it is only 24%. Again, it's almost 50 at refinement rank 5, but you're not gonna get there unless you have a lot of money, in which case, again, get out. Again, just kidding, stay. I need you, I want you, I love you. But even compared to something like the White Tassel that increases it by pretty much 50% with refinement rank 5, which you will definitely get with a 3-star weapon like the White Tassel, this effect really isn't that great. Again, a 10% boost to your attack, and that scales up really high, is good, but this honestly isn't great. I mean, the attack speed raised by 10% on polearms is going to be amazing, but compared to the other 2 5 stars, I honestly don't think it's great. I would be the most disappointed if I got this one on a 5-star weapon pull, so I'm going to put it in B. It's definitely not as bad as these ones right here. It's around the same level as these. Why am I saying that? This is what a tier list is. This is the purpose of a tier list. I don't have to explain that to you. And finally, we have the Primordial Jade Winged Spear. Crit rate up 4.8%, obviously scaling up pretty high considering that it's a 5-star weapon. So on hit, it increases your attack by 3.2% for 6 seconds with a max of 7 stacks. With a polearm, you don't have to worry about the 7 stacks being high. It's not high for a polearm. You're going to get 7 hits in less than 6 seconds, but the fact that it can only occur every 0.3 seconds is a bit of a letdown. But then we have another good thing: when you hit that max stack, which you will in like 4 seconds, the damage dealt is increased by 12%, so you get a 12% attack boost on top of the max stack 3.2%, which is like 25 plus 12, that's like a number that I'll just put on the screen. I'll do the math in my head later. It's 2 a.m. right now. I spent my entire day streaming and then setting up all my streaming stuff, which again, after this video is over, make sure to go to twitch.com/Spinecar where you can watch me stream. I will be live when this video is uploaded. Yeah, it has a very good main stat booster with the crit rate, good effect right here, a bit of a downside right here, and then another decent effect right here. Definitely not S tier, but considering that it's a 5-star weapon, that crit rate bonus is going to scale very high, so I think it is an A tier, and that will complete our list. I'm probably keeping my family up with my obnoxious voice, and it just hit me how tired and sleep deprived I actually am, but I still have to edit this and get it uploaded in the morning. So if you stuck through to the end, you took my opinion into consideration, thank you so much. Thank you guys so much for watching. For like the 4th time, make sure to check out the Twitch channel down below. I'll put the description, or just go to twitch.com/Spinecar once again. Let me know what you think of this list. What do you agree with? What do you disagree with? Which weapons do you have? Which have you tested out for yourself? Make sure to like the video and subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and I will see you guys next time. That was really underwhelming. I thought I was going to go around a lot more.